Have you ever stopped to think that Mulan might be hiding a massive secret that's been right in front of our eyes this whole time? What if I told you that the main character isn't just a brave warrior, but something way bigger, something legendary? There's a fascinating theory that suggests Mulan isn't just a determined young woman trying to save her family. She's actually the embodiment of the Great Stone Dragon. That's right, the most powerful ancestral guardian of her bloodline might not be in a statue, but within her from the very beginning. Let's get straight to the point. Why couldn't Mushu wake up the Great Stone Dragon? If we remember the movie, Mulan's ancestors decide to send their most powerful guardian to protect her on her journey. That guardian is the Great Stone Dragon, and Mushu is supposed to wake him up. But something strange happens. Mushu, who can easily wake up other ancestral spirits, tries to awaken the Great Dragon, and nothing happens. He tries everything, but the statue stays still. Not knowing what went wrong, he ends up tripping and breaking the statue. At first glance, it seems like Mushu is just clumsy and accidentally broke the statue. But what if the real reason the dragon didn't wake up was something else? What if the spirit of the Great Stone Dragon was already awake, inside Mulan herself? Sounds crazy, right? Well, get ready, because now we're going to look at the movie through a whole new lens. If we look closely at Mulan's universe, we'll see that dragon imagery shows up constantly. It's in the details of the door handles, the emperor's robes, the festivals, and even in Mushu himself, who is a dragon. But the most important detail is that the stone dragon appears reflected next to Mulan during key moments in the film. One of the strongest themes in Mulan is reflection, both in a literal and metaphorical sense. The movie constantly shows Mulan reflected in mirrors, in water, in her sword, even in a helmet. It represents her search for identity. But there's one powerful moment. During her song Reflection, when Mulan asks, "Who is that girl I see staring straight back at me?" What's reflected in the background is the statue of the Great Stone Dragon. And not only that, Mulan touches the statue almost like she's connecting with it. If it were just a coincidence, we could ignore it. But the movie repeats this pattern over and over again. When Mulan is crying before deciding to go to war, she's sitting right in front of the Great Stone Dragon. When she stands up to cut her hair, the sword she uses has a dragon carved into it. And when she leaves her house, the pedestal of the Great Stone Dragon glows, like something had just awakened. Coincidence? Or was the movie trying to tell us that the spirit of the Great Stone Dragon had always been inside her? In the West, dragons are usually seen as monstrous and destructive creatures. But in China, it's the exact opposite. Chinese dragons represent power, wisdom, strength, protection, and good luck. They're not villains, they're symbols of greatness and deep connection to the forces of nature. Now here's a detail that makes this theory even stronger. There's an old Chinese proverb that says, "Hoping one's only child becomes a dragon." This saying means that parents wish for their children to grow up to be great, successful, and powerful. Now think about this. Mulan is an only child. That means in Chinese tradition, she would be the only daughter who became a dragon, both literally and metaphorically. And there's more. According to Chinese mythology, dragons can manifest through natural forces like hurricanes, earthquakes, and avalanches. Now tell me, what was one of Mulan's most epic strategies to defeat the enemy army? She caused an avalanche. And she did it using a dragon-shaped rocket lit by Mushu, a dragon. This makes Mulan the very manifestation of the dragon, acting with greatness and power, just like a true legendary guardian would. Let's break down 3 essential traits that directly connect her to the legend of Chinese dragons: strength, power, and luck. During army training, the soldiers are challenged to climb a tall pole to retrieve a medal, a task that symbolizes the strength and determination of a true warrior. The only one who manages to do it is Mulan. In other words, she proves she has the strength worthy of a dragon. Dragons are seen as powerful and majestic beings. Mulan doesn't just defeat Shan Yu, the villain of the film, in front of all of China. She does it strategically, bravely, and intelligently. Just like a dragon, she's unstoppable when she's fighting to protect the people she loves. Here's a brilliant detail. Throughout the movie, Mushu and Kriki, the lucky cricket, are by Mulan's side. But at one point, Mushu admits that Kriki isn't actually a lucky cricket. So where does Mulan's luck come from? From herself. Every step of the way, the luck guiding Mulan comes from within, just like her strength and her power. And that makes perfect sense. Because in Chinese mythology, dragons are symbols of good fortune and divine protection. Now, it all fits. Mulan is strong like a dragon, powerful like a dragon, and lucky like a dragon. And if you still have doubts, remember this. At the end of the movie, the Emperor himself awards her a gold medal, with the design of a dragon on it. With all this evidence, it seems more and more likely that the true Great Stone Dragon was inside Mulan all along. But is this theory perfect, or does it have flaws? Yes, there are some points that could weaken the idea. One of the biggest issues is that if Mulan really had the spirit of a dragon within her, it would mean she had a special advantage the whole time. That kind of takes away from her story, because one of the most important messages in the movie is that Mulan saved China simply by being determined, brave, and smart. Not because she had supernatural powers. This is the same issue many fans pointed out in the 2020 live-action version of Mulan, where she has an extremely powerful chi from the beginning, making her victory feel more like destiny than something she earned. If the Great Stone Dragon theory were true, then Mulan didn't win just through her own effort. She won because she was already special from the start, and that could lessen her story of growth and perseverance. Still, whether or not Mulan is the reincarnation of the Great Stone Dragon, one thing's for sure, the movie builds a strong connection between Mulan and the symbolism of the dragon. Mulan didn't need magic, divine powers, or fate to save China. She did it on her own, because the true strength of a dragon was in her spirit, her courage, and her determination. That might be Mulan's real secret. Whether she's just a warrior or the reincarnation of an ancient dragon, Mulan proved that greatness comes from within. Now tell me, do you believe in this theory, or do you think it's all just a coincidence? I want to hear your thoughts. Drop them in the comments and let's talk about it.